My name's Olivia Douglas. I'm from This and That with Olivia out of Maryland. How are y'all?
Good.
Great, how are you?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Olivia?
Good. It's a little chilly here and I'm not okay with it. It needs to be warmer. But thank you guys for taking some time to chat with me today. I was able to screen the movie a couple days ago and it was definitely amazing. So great work to all of you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm sure it's a lot of fun and really cool to see it on the big screen, huh? After all that work.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we're so psyched that it got to come out on such big screens that we had IMAX and all the premium formats, and people got to see the movie as we kind of intended it and dreamed it. And luckily, people have huge TVs at home now, so like I think people even at home are going to get to have a giant experience, which is cool.
If you
So
don't have a
thank God
giant
for
TV,
television.
you should first go buy a giant TV and then buy the movie.
Or just sit really close to your small TV.
Or
That's
just see it in cinemas because it's still in theaters. You can
Oh,
still
yeah.
do that.
That's
Yeah.
the
That as
best.
Yeah.
well. I
You
don't
have
get
to
to
sit
the
so
theater,
close to the iPhone.
right? I don't get to the theaters much anymore, but we do have a couple big TVs in the house.
All you
Yeah,
need.
fair. It's hard with kids.
It is. I have three of them, so it's very hard.
Oh boy. I have one and
Yeah.
it's hard to go.
Yeah, right. One is enough. Three is a crowd. We'll just put it that way. Anywho, I was curious if there was one thing that you wanted viewers to know they would get out of watching the movie, whether it's like something, a message behind the movie or just entertainment or anything you want them to know about it before they watch it.
Well, I would say that it's not what a lot of people expect it to be. They see the title Dungeons and Dragons and they think they know what that is, but I think people will be very surprised by how much heart and emotion and fun and laughter there is in the movie that we made. That's really cool.
I think just to add to that, I think people will be pleasantly surprised by the fact that it is an earnest film, just because it has a lot of humor in it. It's all coming from an authentic place. We, poured our hearts and souls into this film. It took 4 years of our lives to get it finally on the screen. And we took every moment in the film seriously, regardless of how silly or funny it all is. I think it's coming from a really heartfelt place and something that will hopefully make people feel better than they felt before they started it.
Yeah,
Great.
I think that's well said. I think that's well said. I mean, to me, the thing is, it's just like you're gonna find a message about what family means, because it really is a movie about a father trying to find his daughter and put his family back together, and along the way realizing that the definition of family might not be what he thought it was, but that he's gonna find the people that mean the most to him. And I think that's just like a beautiful thing. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. I definitely gathered that from seeing the film. And so you're right. You look at the title and people that don't really know what to expect, and you're pleasantly surprised that you gathered that family and all of that out of it. It's an awesome movie. So
Thank
I
you.
get that. Um, is there a certain character in the film that you relate to or that you connect with on a personal level?
Ed Gein's character in that he's the bard who has to keep the troops moving forward. I think that's the role that all three of us had in the making of this film. It's to adapt when things don't go your way. We shot this during COVID, so everything was a little more challenging than it would otherwise be. We had to be ready to pivot if someone got sick or had to quarantine. So there was a lot of that Ed Gein positivity that we had to hold on to.
Yeah, I think I would relate most to Jarnathan, the Aarakocra, who has to remain stoic and professional despite people trying to exploit him for his attributes.
And I think that I probably relate most to Doric. Like I'm trying to do it for a good cause, I'm trying to put nice things out in the world and make things better. And I wish that I could change it a bunch of different shapes along the way. That'd be cool.
He's not doing this for the money. We'll keep your share.
They literally kept my share. It's kind of insane.
That's funny. Oh, that's amazing. It's always nice to kind of hear, people behind the scenes of, kind of what connections you have personally to the movie, right? And obviously, as you guys are working on it behind the scenes, you're not on the big screen. It's like kind of cool to see, and hear from you guys what you garnered from it. So that's awesome. Is there a funny moment or something on the set or during filming outside of the challenges that come with COVID that you could share? I know people always like to hear behind the scenes if there was a blooper of sorts.
Um, this was equal parts funny and terrifying, but there was a moment when we were preparing to shoot in this location on a creek where Jeremy fell into the water. And it was funny when we knew he was okay, but up until that point, it was terrifying because his head became within inches of the corner of this platform that surely would have killed him. So I'm glad that it all worked out, and he was soaked and had to wear a wetsuit for the rest of the day, which was wildly unprofessional.
Yeah.
And yet
Yeah.
he maintained his positivity throughout.
Yeah, I did. One of my favorite moments, we had this moment in the film, if you remember, Hugh Grant is on top of this thing, and he's giving his big speech at the games, and then at the end of it, he says, "Take me down from here. This is much higher than I was expecting. This is not what we talked about at all." And we were shooting that, and when you're shooting a movie, the grips and the electricians and everybody don't always have access to the screenplay. And Hugh Grant's a very good actor, and so we put him on top of this high platform, and there's a guy operating the platform that can lift it up and down, and he's never seen the screenplay. And Hugh gets to the top of the thing, and we yell action, and Hugh says, "Get me down from here. This is not what we talked about at all. This is much higher than I was expecting." And the guy just immediately starts lowering Hugh Grant down in the middle of the shot, and we're like, "Dude, you're ruining the shot." And he's like, "He wants down," and we're like, "That's the line. He's acting." And it was very funny because the guy just got taken away by Hugh's acting and just like believed him, and it ruined the take, which was sad. But we shot it again.
We enjoyed it.
That's hilarious. Anything else?
Trying to think of mishaps. Funny anecdotes. Nothing's leaping to mind.
I have a lot of anecdotes that are not funny and kind of terrifying. But well, we had a costume designer.
Take it easy.
So I know you guys said you shot, majority, maybe even all of it during COVID. So you kind of say like coming out of it now, I guess they say the pandemic's over, obviously all of our lives were changed for many years. Kind of how was that the transition into COVID to film and change all of that and then coming out of it on the other side now? And how has that changed, the paradigm for the rest of your careers?
Sure. Well, we were developing the script pre-COVID and began soft prep of the movie when COVID started really happening, and we had to shut down for a little while, but we're still kind of soft prepping throughout all of that uncertain time. But it made everything incredibly difficult. Shooting under those conditions, it added millions of dollars to our budget just in keeping people safe, but also it hindered a lot of the rehearsal time that we needed, being able to fly people in. They had to quarantine for 10 days. So it was definitely a challenge. I think in some ways it brought us closer together because we were all in this bubble that we were working within and had to kind of embrace that. But I really hope that we don't have to shoot another movie during a pandemic again, because it took more than 4 years off of my life, and that's the amount of time that I ended up spending on the thing.
Well, it's also prepping a movie when you can't be in person with people makes everything much more complicated. In fact, our cinematographer sent us these, and we would use them on Zoom to figure out like, okay, so this guy's going to be over here and somebody comes from here. And it was much harder in 2 dimensions than it would be if you were in the room together.
Wow.
Yeah. The only thing I will say is that at times there was stuff that was like we did a better job of preparing because of the limitations. So by the time we got to the set, sometimes we were, even more prepared than we normally would have been on a film because we knew we couldn't improvise on the day because of restrictions, and we couldn't add things as easily as we could. So we really took the time to figure stuff out. So in a lot of ways, we were more rigorous than we maybe would have been, which was good because these guys are pretty rigorous filmmakers.
That's awesome. It's always interesting to hear the different perspectives because I mean, in my job, it was a lot different than in your job whenever COVID happened, right? And in family life and all of that. So
Yeah.
again, good job on the movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I know all the viewers will as well. I appreciate you guys taking some time with me today just to chat about some of the behind the scenes and stuff like that. It's always nice to get that different perspective. So again, thank you very much.
Sure.
Appreciate
Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia.
Good to meet you.
You too.